ask you something real. How many times have you felt like giving up when no one was watching? How many dreams have died quietly in the dark because you just couldn't push through the pain? That's where most people stop. But if you're listening to this, then you're not most people. You're here because deep down, something inside of you is still alive, still fighting. That spark, that's your responsibility. And this message, this moment, might be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. This is not just another motivational talk. It's a challenge, a truth, a confrontation with yourself. And if you stay with me till the end, I promise you'll walk away not only with the reason to keep going, but with the mindset to never stop again. You see, success doesn't come to the smartest, the luckiest, or even the most talented. It comes to those who refuse to quit. It comes to those who keep moving when the applause stops, when the crowd is gone, when your own voice is the only one cheering. That's the battlefield where greatness is forged, not in comfort, but in relentless discomfort. You have to force yourself to keep going, not because it's easy, but because quitting costs too much. Your dreams don't die because you tried and failed. They die because you hesitated. You paused. You waited for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only now and whether or not you have the courage to keep moving forward. The truth? No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no friend, no miracle. Just you and your decision to rise again and again. You might feel tired. You might feel lost. But if you can put one foot in front of the other just one more time, you're still in the game. You still have a shot. That's why you must force yourself to keep going. Because every step you take through pain makes you stronger. Every push through doubt builds resilience. Every time you silence the voice that says, I can't, you give power to the one that says, I will. And here's the secret. The moment you want to quit the most is when your breakthrough is closest. But you'll never know that if you stop now, so don't stop. Don't let fear or fatigue decide your future. You were built for more. You were meant to endure, to rise, to conquer. Force yourself. Fight through. Keep going. Because when you look back one day, you'll realize that every ounce of pain was worth the power you found inside yourself. That strength, it was always there waiting for you to unlock it. Keep going. The world needs what only you can bring. The power of persistence is something that most people underestimate. Everyone wants to be successful, but not everyone is willing to keep going when it gets uncomfortable, when the progress slows down, when the applause stops and you're left alone with your doubts. This is where persistence shows its face. You see, persistence isn't flashy. It doesn't always come with rewards in the short term. It's not the most exciting part of the journey, but it is the most critical. Because no matter how talented you are, no matter how much potential you carry, if you don't persist through the tough times, none of it will matter. There are moments when you will feel like your efforts are going nowhere. You'll work hard and still fall short. You'll prepare with everything you've got and still fail. You'll give your best and nobody will notice. But that's exactly when you have to force yourself to keep showing up. Success doesn't come to the most intelligent or the most charismatic. It comes to the one who keeps knocking long after the door seems shut. That's what persistence is. It's the refusal to accept failure as final. It's the mindset that says, I don't care how many times I get knocked down, I will get up again. Look around you, every major breakthrough, every great success story, every entrepreneur, athlete, leader, they all share one thing. They didn't stop when it was hard. They didn't retreat when they were afraid. They pushed forward when the path was foggy, when the goal seemed far, when no one believed in them. They chose to persist. And eventually, the world had no choice but to take notice. You need to develop that same attitude. The power of persistence doesn't come from always being strong. It comes from refusing to give up even when you're at your weakest, even when you're tired, even when it feels like nothing is working. You force yourself to take one more step and then another. Progress is not always visible, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Every drop of sweat, every tear, every sleepless night, every setback, it's all part of the preparation for your breakthrough. You just can't see it yet. Persistence transforms pain into power. It turns failure into feedback. It takes the weight of discouragement and turns it into fuel. That's why when life tests you you must dig deeper, not run away. If you give up today, you'll never know what was possible tomorrow. But if you persist, if you keep walking even with blisters on your feet and doubt in your mind, you'll get there. It might not happen in your timing, but it will happen. Because persistence always pays off. It's just a matter of how long you're willing to fight for it. So if you're tired, rest. But don't you dare quit. Force yourself to keep going. That's where the power is. That's how you win. Pain is temporary, but growth lasts forever. When you're in the middle of a storm, it feels like it will never end. The weight of failure, rejection, setbacks, stress it presses down on you until you start to believe that maybe you're not strong enough to carry it. But listen carefully, every great success was born in pain. Every champion was shaped by discomfort. You grow the most not when things are easy, but when life stretches you, breaks you, and dares you to get back up. That's where the real transformation happens. Not in your victories, but in your battles. You have to stop seeing pain as punishment and start recognizing it as preparation. Every hard situation is teaching you something. It's refining your character, sharpening your focus, building your discipline. And the beautiful part, pain doesn't last. It feels eternal in the moment, but it's just a chapter, not the whole book. What stays with you forever is who you become through that process. The growth, the strength, the mindset, that's what endures. You won't remember all the sleepless nights, the stress, or the doubt. But you'll remember the moment you pushed through it. You'll remember that you didn't quit. And here's something most people miss. Growth doesn't shout. It whispers. It happens silently, behind the scenes, when no one's watching. Every time you force yourself to work, even when you're exhausted, every time you show up when you don't feel like it, every time you push through resistance, that's growth. You may not see the change immediately, but it's happening. Just like a seed takes time to break through the soil, you are developing in the darkness before the results bloom in the light. Pain is the price of progress. It's a signal that you're challenging your limits. Think about it. If it's comfortable, you're not growing. If it's easy, you're not moving forward. Growth only comes when you step into the uncomfortable and stay there longer than most people are willing to. And the truth is, the more pain you endure with purpose, the stronger your foundation becomes. So when the storm comes again, you won't break. You'll stand taller. So the next time life hits hard, remind yourself this pain is not here to stop you. It's here to shape you. You were meant to be soft. You were meant to rise. And that can only happen when you refuse to back down. Embrace the discomfort. Lean into the struggle. Use the pain not as an excuse, but as a weapon. Because the more you grow, the more unstoppable you become. And when you come out on the other side, you'll look back and realize every tear, every doubt, every moment you wanted to quit, it was all worth it. Because now you're no longer who you used to be. You're stronger, smarter, hungrier, and ready for everything the world once said you couldn't have. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Everyone talks about goals, ambition, vision, but those things are useless without action. And not just random action, but consistent, focused, disciplined effort. That's the part most people ignore. They love the excitement of the dream, but they hate the boring grind that brings it to life. They want the result, but not the process. But here's the truth without discipline. Your dream is just a fantasy. It will stay locked in your mind while life passes you by, because discipline is what builds it in the real world. You will never always feel like doing the work. That's a fact. Motivation comes and goes. Some days, you'll wake up fired up and ready to go. Other days, you'll feel tired, empty, and discouraged. But discipline says, I show up anyway. It says, I don't wait for the mood to strike. I move regardless. That's the difference between those who achieve and those who only talk. The achievers don't let their feelings control them. They act according to their purpose, not their mood. Discipline is the quiet force behind every champion. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't beg for applause. It just shows up every day doing what needs to be done. That means waking up early when it's cold. That means saying no to distractions that give you short-term pleasure but long-term regret. That means choosing focus over comfort, repetition over excitement, and effort over excuses. You can't build a great life on convenience. It takes sacrifice. It takes doing the right thing even when no one is watching, and especially when everything inside you says, let's take a break. The dream is on the other side of your habits. What you do daily becomes who you are. You can tell me your goals, but I'll know your future by looking at your routines. Do you have the discipline to stick to the plan when progress is slow? Do you have the strength to say no when temptation calls? That's what separates real success from wishful thinking. It's not about brilliance. It's about consistency. Anyone can be disciplined for a day. Winners do it for years. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're casting a vote for your future. Every day you force yourself to do what must be done. You are investing in a life that's greater than the one you have today. And no, it won't be easy. You will be tempted. You will be tested. But that's the point, because without resistance, there is no strength. Discipline is your armor. It protects your dream from being stolen by laziness, distraction, and fear. And the more you train that muscle, the stronger it becomes. So build that bridge step by step, choice by choice, day by day. Force yourself to stay on course even when it's hard, even when you want to give up. Because one day, you'll walk across that bridge, look back at everything you endured, and realize it was worth every step. Obstacles are not the end of the road. They are the proving grounds of your purpose. Most people panic when they see a challenge, when something blocks their path, when a plan suddenly collapses. They stop. They second-guess themselves. They think maybe they're not ready. But that mindset is exactly what keeps people stuck in the same place for years. If you want to succeed, truly succeed, you need to train your mind to see every obstacle not as a reason to quit, but as an opportunity to rise. Because the truth is, the bigger the obstacle, the bigger the breakthrough behind it. There is no growth in comfort. The path to greatness isn't straight. It's filled with detours, blocks, breakdowns, and barriers. That's how life tests your seriousness. Anyone can move forward when things are smooth, but only the truly committed keep pushing when things get messy. That's where real progress lives, right on the other side of resistance. If it's difficult, if it's pushing you to your edge, then good. That means it's working. That means you're being stretched into someone stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next level. Every obstacle is trying to teach you something. Sometimes it's patience. Sometimes it's persistence. Sometimes it's creativity. It's forcing you to stop relying on shortcuts and start developing real strength. You don't become sharp by avoiding pressure. You become sharp by facing it. The wall in front of you, it's not there to block you. It's there to show you how badly you want it. Because most people will turn around at the first sign of difficulty. But you're not most people. You run from the wall. You figure out how to climb over it. And here's the most powerful part. Once you get through an obstacle, you're never the same again. You carry a new level of confidence, a new level of capability. That's why some people seem unstoppable, because they've already been through hell and refuse to stop walking. They've learned that every time they forced themselves to push through, they leveled up. They got faster, tougher, more focused. So now, when a new obstacle shows up, they don't panic. They smile because they know what's on the other side of it. So when life throws something in your way, don't freeze. Don't complain. Don't look for someone to save you.
Look within.
Force yourself to adapt, to learn, to grow. Your greatest tools will be born in your toughest battles. You'll discover a version of yourself you didn't even know existed. That's the gift hidden in the challenge. Obstacles are not setbacks. They're setups. Setups for growth, for breakthrough, for greatness. Every time you force yourself to keep going despite the odds, you are separating yourself from the crowd. You're turning your setbacks into stepping stones. And soon, the same wall that once made you feel small will become the reason you rise higher than ever before. Your future self is counting on you, not the person you are today, the person you could become if you keep going. That version of you, stronger, wiser, more fulfilled, is waiting at the end of the road you're on right now. But you'll never meet them if you stop moving. Too many people quit in the middle, not because they're weak, but because they forget who they're fighting for. You're not just pushing through for the present, you're building a life for the future. And that future version of you is silently begging you not to give up. Every decision you make today is a seed planted in the life you'll live tomorrow. When you choose discipline over comfort, focus over distraction, courage over fear, you're shaping a future where you're proud of who you've become. But when you choose to quit, when you give in to short-term comfort, when you stop showing up, you rob that future version of yourself of the victory they were meant to have. One day, you'll either look in the mirror and thank yourself or regret every excuse you let stop you. The truth is, we all have two paths in front of us. One leads to average. One leads to excellence. Most people choose the easy one, the path of least resistance, because it demands nothing in the short term. But it costs everything in the long run. The other path, it's harder, it's lonely, it will stretch you, but it also transforms you. It gives you the chance to become the version of yourself that you dream about late at night, the one who inspires others, who breaks generational limits, who lives with no regrets. When you feel tired, when you feel like backing down, remind yourself why you started. Think about the people you want to help, the life you want to live, the freedom you want to earn. Think about the kids who will one day look up to you. Think about the younger version of yourself who used to believe in big things. Don't let them down. You didn't come this far to go back. You didn't fight through all that pain just to fold when it got tough. The future doesn't belong to the smartest, the luckiest, or the most talented. It belongs to the ones who don't stop. It belongs to the ones who keep going, even when they don't feel ready. Even when they're scared. Even when no one's clapping for them. That's how legacy is built, not in a single day, but in countless days where you force yourself to show up and push forward no matter how hard it gets. So keep going, not for the likes, not for the praise, but for the future you that's waiting on the other side of your persistence. One day, that version of you will thank you for not quitting when it was easier to give in. One day, they'll be living the life you fought to build. And that moment, that's the real reward. You've heard the truth now. Real growth demands pain. Real progress demands persistence. And real success demands discipline. There is no shortcut. There is no secret hack. There is only this: force yourself to keep going. When others quit, you continue. When it's dark, you move forward. When you're tired, you still rise. Because the greatest version of you is forged in the fire of resistance, not comfort. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be relentless. This is not about talent. This is not about luck. This is about your will, your decision to not give in when the road gets tough. Every obstacle you face is not there to destroy you. It's there to prepare you. And every time you push forward through pain, through fear, through doubt, you're sending a message to the world: I will not be broken. So stand up, fight back, keep moving. Because your future is waiting, your destiny is calling, and your time is now. Don't let the temporary win. Don't let weakness decide your story. Force yourself to keep going, and one day, the world won't be able to ignore the power of the person you've become. Keep going, no matter what.